Sure. I'm Mike Navarro. My IGN is POROSAURUS, and my title is Director of Esports for Harrisburg University. So I started off with casting Overwatch back whenever the beta first dropped. And honestly, I wasn't even really looking to do that. It was a way to kind of keep in touch with my old friends from back home while I was doing undergrad work. And originally it started off just because I can talk. I'm a talker, man. That's what I do. Fortunately, not that great at the game, so the talking came a lot easier. But then as time went on, kind of grew away from Overwatch, but then PUBG dropped in 2017, and all my friends kind of started. I went over to that and just immediately fell in love with the game. Just right off the bat. But all of this was all while I was going to college, graduate school, undergrad. All of this was taking up my time. It was kind of like a hobby. And then around 2019, it turned into a full-time career. And I was very fortunate to have that happen. One of the lucky ones, I guess you could say. So I started off at community college, got my associates while I was working at a warehouse, just blue collar as you could get. And I initially started off trying to go for a nursing degree, looking to just try to find some kind of job that had some kind of stability. And as time went on, I had an advisor at community college that really kind of took me by the hand and was like, look, you can do whatever you want. You can do more than this. You could transfer, you could go and finish your bachelor's if you want to. And so I kind of listened to her, and I graduated with a high GPA, and I took the plunge, I took the risk, and I tried transferring to an undergrad or a full 4-year institution to finish my degree. And I got accepted to Cornell. I went to Cornell for the final 2 years, which is probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. I was like, I think 20 or 30 something at the time, and I quit work. This is the first time I hadn't been working since high school. And I just took the big risk to move up there and finish my bachelor's, thinking that that was going to be the best thing for me in the future. I kind of fell in love with research and statistics and kind of doing all that stuff. So I then transferred to LSU for a master's to PhD fast track program after completing my undergraduate, which I finished the master's part, and I finished the comprehensive exams for my PhD. And then COVID hit. My primary advisor transferred schools. Everything was kind of falling apart right at the same time as my casting career was taking off. So it was kind of like one of those things where I looked at the writing on the wall and I was like, let's just do it. Let's go full in on casting, on esports, and see what happens. And so far it's been phenomenal with the casting, and now I get to come back and do something as amazing as this for a fantastic university. So it's weird how life works sometimes. Like, I remember 2013, 2014 living in my dorm at Cornell, caught an article on ESPN about this tiny university in Pennsylvania that had started offering esports scholarships. And all my friends were kind of talking about it, and I looked at it, I was like, man, that's really awesome. Like, it always felt like that was the inevitable path that esports would take. It just makes too much sense, right? And to see that there was this university that was not only, having an esports club, but they're also going full scholarships and doing a full program of study around esports. I thought that was really, really cool. And, I always kind of had Harrisburg University in the back of my mind as I kind of progressed throughout my academic career. And, when I was at LSU, I worked with the esports club there and saw, some of the difficulties that clubs kind of have in securing funding or maintaining interest, and like, how do you kind of that enrollment high whenever games, whatever the hot game is changing, all the time. And, just kind of stuff that just issues, problems that I kind of kept in my mind and I'm kind of always thinking about. And then, as I was working through PUBG and casting, I volunteered to cast collegiate PUBG, and collegiate Apex Legends, just different stuff through people that I knew. And I could see, like, there's so much interest in collegiate esports, and there's a lot of really, really talented players, really good players at that collegiate space. I got to talking to Darren Moore, who's the CEO of the Sonics, but he worked very closely with Harrisburg, and he knew that they were in search of a new director position. And I'll be honest, the first time he brought it up to me, I was like, I don't think I could do it. Like, I don't think that's for me. It's moving across the country. I'm a caster. Like what am I going to do about directing? And the more I thought about it, the more time passed, I started looking at it, I'm like, I've kind of been building towards this position for my whole career. It's interesting the way things work out because, Harrisburg kind of was the original, one of the originators in kind of making a renaissance for collegiate esports. And then right afterwards, I kind of went through my own personal renaissance with going from academia into full-time esports. And now we're kind of at a juncture where I'm having to make a transition again. And Harrisburg is in this spot where it's time to bring it back to its former glory. And I feel like we're kind of meeting each other at the perfect time. And I'm, I can't say enough how excited I am to get started and get into the games. Well, one of the first things I want to see is the student come back into student athlete. I think that there has been kind of a trend in collegiate esports, if we're being completely honest, of bringing people in and keeping them on for a little bit just to see how well they do and kind of promote the team a little bit. But you're not seeing the grades as much. You're maybe not seeing the graduation rates as much. So one of the things that we've focused on specifically, really targeting those high achieving students that are also high achieving in game. And we want them to kind of serve as models for the Storm to the rest of the Harrisburg University community. They're going to be wearing their Harrisburg gear. They're going to be in class every day, sitting at the front of the class, doing what they would normally do, which is just being great students, and then just kind of promoting that culture. That's a big kind of trigger word or keyword for us at the new esports program, talking to the coaches, is building this culture, winning in every aspect, not just in game, but also in the classroom and just in life in general. We're trying to create professional adults and do what we can as a staff to be there for them along that journey to try to get that degree. Everybody's going to get that degree. That is bar none what we have the most focus on. If we can when we get the wins to go along with it on the esports side, it's going to be that much sweeter. But we want our students, our players that we recruit, and their parents to know that we want them here for the duration. We want them here. We want them walking across that stage and getting that bachelor's degree in hand from Harrisburg University.